All right, and we are not live. Iron Lord Podcast here, Lord Cognito here, lordsofgaming.net, and who is this fine gentleman in the realm of the NASDAQ building?
Hey, I'm Jeremy Stieglitz, the co-founder of Studio Wildcard and co-creator of Ark Survival Evolved, etc.
Ark Survival Evolved, huge game. Now, the founder of our website, rest in peace, Lord Dizzy, a huge fan of your game. Many nights stayed up late trying to teach me the game. We're actually Destiny fans who came over to Ark. So get everyone up to date who have no idea, who's living under a rock. What's the premise of Ark and what's going on with Ark lately as far as content-wise?
Well, Ark's known and it's really kind of famous for being the dinosaur survival game. So it's a game where you run around in multiplayer. You're on an island, but you can be on other kind of worlds as well. And there's tons of dinosaurs, and you can encounter them, you try to survive them, but critically, you can also tame them and ride them and make them part of your tribe, so to speak. So it's in the survival genre, but really heavily focused around dinosaurs. And over time, it also introduced a lot of sci-fi elements. So you start going to like crazy other planets and get a lot of crazy technology. And so it's become more and more and more over the top, you might say.
Yes.
Kind of like certain franchises one might think of, like Marvel starts with a guy in an iron suit, and then suddenly you're intergalactic wars and stuff. So it's the nature of franchises, I guess. So now it's very sci-fi and very out there, and the latest thing we're doing. So it started like 10 years ago with an original Ark Survival Evolved, and then a couple years back we remastered it and we kind of remade it as Ark Survival Ascended on the latest version of Unreal Engine 5. New graphics, new polish, new content, and what's happening right now is we're releasing our first major expansion pack for this new version of the game. This expansion pack is called Ark Lost Colony, and it is the first one that fully advances the story. So previously for this Ark Survival Ascended, we just kind of added little bits and pieces of features. This one is a giant new kind of world with story and new mechanics and features. It really kind of takes the narrative and structure of the game forward in a big way. So it's pretty crazy.
That's awesome. I see the growth of the franchise and to see where you guys are taking it. Now, the question I have for you as lapsed Destiny players, my question is for new players, how do you tackle onboarding someone who's like, hey, this is the first time I'm coming to this world. I've seen the upgrades. I've seen the glow up. Now you've got this whole narrative content. Will I be intimidated? Will it be too much? How do I get going in this new content?
Well, Lost Colony is definitely probably not the easiest entry point if you've never played Ark before. It's kind of an advanced players thing. So it tends to be, if you play Ark, there's always the island. You start on the island. That's the easiest way to get into it. There's dodos. They're not really going to hurt you. They just kind of walk around.
They're not going to hurt me.
Yeah. They walk around and squawk, and you can cook them for dinner. So there's really not – it's a little easier. You start on the beach. Lost Colony is more for veteran players, and you kind of can work your way up to that. It's got vampires. It's got some crazy stuff. So it's more like – it's a lot more threatening of an environment, and probably if one was to jump right into it, you'd have to use a lot of cheat codes to survive.
Fair enough. So it's safe to say this is in-game, high-end content for veteran players who've been around, who may have experienced the biggest challenges in the base game, and now we're ready to take on Lost Colony.
Yeah, there are a lot of those, thankfully. A lot of people have played Ark over the years, but it's cool because there are a lot of maps you can kind of almost go just map by map and get more experience and more skills or familiarity with the game. You don't have to jump right into this kind of crazy end game content, even though it might look tempting because vampires and stuff.
Vampires sound cool. You got to tell me a little bit more about the vampires. King is shaking his head. He likes vampires. I love vampires. Yes, he does. So tell us about what's some of the feedback that you've got in creating this content, from the community to say, things that you tackled or some of the biggest maybe pain points that maybe were addressed in this content drop.
Well, I mean, a lot of things in Ark tend to revolve in terms of player feedback around bugs and performance. That's the perennial wish list from players. So we have a live service team, and we constantly try to improve the bugs and improve the balance. Performance is more challenging in a way because a lot of it's dependent on the technology that we use, which is Unreal Engine 5. So the good news is Epic themselves, the creators of Unreal Engine over time, add a lot of features to the technology that improve its performance on people's computers. So we are basically constantly trying to upgrade the engine to the latest version to get the performance improvements that Epic has themselves added. And we're actually still a few versions behind their latest stuff. So they've just released like Unreal Engine 5.7. We're still on 5.5. And the latest one adds a bunch more performance improvements. So our plan is in Q1 next year, right around March, April, we're going to release our Unreal Engine 5.7 upgrade. That's going to boost the performance a lot. Like there's a lot of features there that are really going to make it run better on people's computers and even on the gaming consoles, Xbox and PlayStation. So performance and bugs every day.
We like performance and we like squashing bugs. And I'm glad you said from our audience is a very console-centric audience, so I love that you said that you're going into that. What are some of the features that, I know you said vampires, I know you said narrative, but what are some of the features that you personally are most proud of that they've added, or anything that we haven't heard about just yet to our audience?
Yeah, no, there's a big one. So the thing that you can do, there's a lot of features that Lost Colony adds, but like the ones that I think change the game in more fundamental ways are we added a skill tree, like a full detailed Skyrim style, RPG style skill tree with like hundreds of skills and milestones that you get to unlock the skills, to earn points. They do all kinds of passive and active things. They can be combat oriented, they can be passive buff oriented. So that's a big change for Arc. We previously had stat points you could put in, but not an actual skill system, and that was overhauled completely with Lost Colony and adds a lot of depth to the game and a lot of player choice. The other thing is there are all these NPCs in this world of Lost Colony, and they actually go around and do their own thing. They have bases, and you can attack them, you can destroy their bases, they're controlled by the computer. You can also actually turn them to your side, and they can become part of your tribe and do things for you. So the whole NPC system, these are human style NPCs. You can level them up, you can configure their equipment, you can send them off to harvest stuff for you and manage your base. That's entirely new with Lost Colony and changes the game quite a bit.
Man, this sounds awesome. I can't wait to get a hold of it. So for all those living under a rock, when can they get their hand on this content? How far are we away from getting it?
Days. Thursday. Still working on it, though.
Thursday. He's still working. The man's working hard. Lord Jeremy, an absolute pleasure to have you in the realm of the Lords. Arc, Lost Colony Evolved. We cannot wait to get our hands on it. Thank you so much. It was an absolute pleasure. Have a good one.
Take care, guys.
Peace.